Hello, folks. This is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball, the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers to the drawing on February 23rd, 2019. If you'd like to give me any feedback on my game, Decoding the Powerball, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. So to help me do that, I'm going to turn to the 5 strategies of my game. So strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, why I make them is to show you on how to use my game. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is a format that I came up with that represents the 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize with the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage, and the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 27, 49, 50, 51, and 52. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list, okay? And then I go to the game card and I see what colors they were, okay? So you can see that the game card has a bunch of colors here, and I'm going to explain that as I go on. But right now I'm going to look to see what colors they were, okay? So the 27 was green, the 49 was green, the 50 was green, the 51 was blue, and the 52 was blue. Okay, so the 27, 49, and 50 were all green, and then the 51 and 52 were blue. Okay, so I count how many colors they were, and there's 2 of them. So I come up here to the color code drawings, and I'm going to make this 308 drawings that I kept track of so far. And the 2 color combination has come up 31 times now, okay? A 3 color combination has come up 166 times. A 4 color combination has come up 104 times. And a 5 color combination has come up 11 times, okay? So now I'm going to make a new game card here. So what I'm going to do is get rid of these colors, and I'm going to start from scratch, okay? So what I'm doing here is I took the 69 white ball numbers and I divided them by 5 colors, which equals 13.8, okay? So my goal is to get as close to 13 or 14 numbers per color, okay? So what I did is I came up with this color code here, okay? It's all right here, the red, orange, green, blue, and purple. Okay, so I make the red, I call it hot numbers, numbers that just came up, and then the orange is warm, then the green is cool. If you see a blue number, it's cold, and if you see a purple number, it's freezing. A purple number hasn't come up in like 23 drawings, okay? So let's get going on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this red area, and I'm going to make these 15 numbers red numbers on the game card here, okay? So I'm going to start with the 27, and then the 49 through the 52, then the 29, 30, 41, 48, 64, and then the last one here, 2, 8, 14, 24, and 69. Okay, so that's all the red numbers, okay? So why there's only 3 red here, okay, is because this will give me a maximum of 15 numbers, okay? So again, I want to be at that 13 or 14 mark, okay? So for this drawing, I'm going to count these out. There's 3 and 4 is 7, and 3 more is 10, and 5 is 15. So I'm going to make this 15 red numbers, okay? So now I'm going to go on to the orange, okay? I'm going to start with the 1 here. The 1, 2, 3. Now, since the 2 was already taken by red, I can't do anything about that except skip right over it, okay? So I'm going to go to the 3, the 7, and the 39. Then the next row is the 5, 13, 28, 38, 63. Then the next row is 10, 17, 18, 43, and 65. Then the next row is 2, 12, 16, 29, which is taken, and the 54. So I'm going to make all those orange numbers here. I'm going to count these out. There's 3 and 2 is 5, and 3 is 8, 1 is 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I'm going to make this 17 here. Okay. So that's a little bit above where I want to be. But what this does is this kind of works as a caterpillar here. You can see that the 29 was on top last drawing, and now it's kind of moved down. Okay. So again, it's kind of like a caterpillar, and it just kind of makes everything smooth out here. So over time, this will get back up to that 14 or 15 mark with all of them. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, so I'm going to do one more, the green area. I'm going to start with the 8, which is already taken. The 12 is taken. The 20 is free. The 21, the 32. The 23, 25, 47, 48 is taken, 50 is taken, 5, 8 taken, 41 is taken, 65 is taken, 66, the 14 is taken, 29 is taken, 31 is open, 56 is free, 61 is free, 7 is taken, 36 is free, 48's taken, 57's free, 58's free, 6 is free, 19 is free, 37 is free, 49 is taken, and the 59 is free. So I'm going to make these green numbers. Now I'm going to count them out. So I got 3, 1 is 4, and 3 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 as well. Okay. So I think you get the gist of that, how I come up with the numbers, all right, how I come up with this game card. So just to save on time, I'm going to scroll over to the new game card here. You can see up top I have game card for 2/23/19. Okay, so I started off with 15 red numbers, 17 orange, 17 green, and it turned out to be 12 blue and 8 purple. Okay, so again, more than half the time, or I don't think I explained that yet, you can see that statistically, 166 in the 308 means that more than half the time, 3-color combination comes up with this game. Okay, so again, the object of the game is to eliminate numbers. Okay, so if more than half the time 2 colors are coming up, then more than half the time 2 colors are not coming up. Okay, so you can see that all 5 colors do come up, but it's very rare. Okay, so the strategy is to correctly guess what color is not going to come up. Okay, so with the last drawing, you can see that there's no red, orange, or purple numbers here. Okay, so if you went with the purple numbers like I did last drawing, you could have eliminated all those numbers and gave yourself a much better chance at picking the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so here's the last drawing, the card for 2/20/19, and I'm just going to say if you eliminated the purple numbers, your card would have looked like this. Okay, so all those purple numbers are gone. So you can see that the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers are still here. Okay, so again, that's the object of the game, is that if you correctly guess what numbers aren't going to come up, then the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers have to be still left here on the game card. Okay, so for this drawing, I'm going to scroll back over here a little bit, and what I like you to do is draw out this game card. Okay, so If you could draw this out, you could pause the video if you need to. Go grab some paper and draw this out, okay? And I'm going to assume that you did that, okay? So I'm going to come back, and now for this drawing, I'm going to pick what I think is not going to come up for a color, okay? And what I'm going to pick is green. I don't think any green numbers are going to come up. Now, you can see that there's 15 red, 17 orange, 17 green, 12 blue, 8 purple. Now, I've been doing this for a while, and it doesn't seem to matter how many numbers are here, okay? I seen it down to 6 purple, and 2 purple numbers came up. You know, it's very random. It's random. I kind of got this from the NBA lottery, okay? But again, the reason why I'm going to pick green is because down here you can see that green had a really long run. It had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 drawings in a row where a green number came up, okay? And that's a lot, okay? For as long as I've been doing this, 12 is a really long time. So it came up again, okay? There was no green numbers here, okay? But it came up in 2 drawings in a row, and then it missed one. And now it's up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus it just had 3 of them come up. So my guess is that no green numbers are going to come up. Okay, so I'm going to go to the option card for this drawing. Okay, 223.19, and I'm going to eliminate all these green numbers. Okay, so just give me a second here. It's going to take, there's 17 of them. Okay, almost done. So if you're going to follow me and pick no green numbers as well, then this is what your game card should look like. Okay, so what I want you to do, if you don't think a number is going to come up, then put an X through it. Okay, simply means that you don't think that number is going to come up. All right, so let me go back over to here. All right, and you can look at this for a second, and I'm going to scroll back up. And I want you to decide what color you don't think is going to come up, and then X out those numbers off of the game card. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. All right, so now I'm off to the next strategy. Okay, and that's strategy number 2, the 50-50 picks. Okay, so you're not really eliminating numbers here on the 50-50 picks. This is just going to help you decide what numbers are not going to come up. Okay, so how this works is, first thing, the drawing count, I'm going to go up to 353. Okay, so with the last drawing, the numbers were 27, 49, 50, 51, and 52. So that means there was 3 odd numbers and 2 even numbers. Okay, so here's the odds, so I'm going to make this 3. Here's the evens, I'm going to make this 2. Okay, so what I do is, since there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers, I know there's going to be a majority of either odd numbers or even numbers. So I like to keep track of that majority, and I do that so it will give me a decent way to make a guess at it. Okay, so I'm going to change this to 186. So this has been 186 drawings out of 353 that the majority has been odd numbers. Okay, and only 167 drawings have come up even numbers. Okay, so here in the stats for the past, I like to break things down into 5 drawings just so it shows me that majority again. Okay, so out of this 5 drawings, the odds won 3 drawings to 2, and then the odds won 4 to 1. So this tells me out of 5, 10, 13 drawings, the odds have won 8 times out of 13. Okay, so For some reason, I think it's going to stay odds. All right. And this is the whole thing about this is making a guess on what you think is going to happen. Okay. What you think the majority will be. So for me, I think it's going to be odds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down odds on the on my game card. Okay. So I want you to write that down as well. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. I'm going to scroll back up. And I want you to make a decision on what you think the majority will be. Okay? If you can't make one, then don't make it. Okay? I got 4 of these things to go by. Okay? So this is high and low. So all the numbers in red are considered high. All the numbers in the blue are considered low. So you can see the 65, 67, and 66 are in the blue. So when those come up, I do record them as a low number. All right. So with the last one, it was 27 and 49 through to 52. Okay. So that's 4 high numbers and 1 low. So this is now up to 178. So as I go down, you can see that the high numbers have really had the majority for the last 30 drawings or so. Okay. But for some reason, I think it's going to stay on this high streak. Okay. The low had a pretty good streak here. So now I think there's going to be a good streak over here with the high. So when I pick my numbers, I want at least 3 of them in this red area. Okay. So I'm going to move on. Now this is left and right. Okay, so again, it was 27, 49, 50, 51, 52. So all 5 were over to the left. No numbers to the right, so I'm going to make this 174. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. And now I'm going to scroll back up a little bit. And I want you to make a decision on what you think is going to happen. Okay, so for me, I think the majority will be over here to the left. And I feel comfortable, so I'm going to write that one down. Okay, and now I'm going to go back for one last one. And this is the red and blue area. Okay, so you can see that, again, it was 27 and 49 to the 52. So there was 4 to the blue area and 1 to the red, and I'm going to make this 155. Okay, so you can see that the red has come up a lot more than the blue area. Okay, but I'm going to scroll down. Okay, so you can see that it was just a ton of red right here. Okay, I'm going to scroll back up slowly here. This is for you to look at this and make a decision on what you think is going to be where the majority is. For me, I think it's going to keep on this blue streak, so I'm going to write that down as blue. Okay, so this is just going to help me eliminate numbers here. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 3, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. Okay, so let me reduce this down so you can see the whole card. Okay, so what I did is I took the 69 numbers and I divided it into 7 different groups. Okay, so group 1 through 9 is the only group that has 9 numbers, and then the rest have 10 numbers. Okay, it's the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Again, for 7 groups total. Okay, so there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So that means 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is correctly guess which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate those numbers off of the game card. Okay, so with the last drawing, you can see that no 1 through 9 numbers came up. Okay, so if you correctly guessed that, you would have been right, which I did last drawing. Okay, So for this drawing, I'm going to guess that no 20 numbers are going to come up. Okay. So again, this is all geared up for you to make a decision on what numbers will not be coming up. Okay. So let me make a decision for this game, for this drawing, and I don't think any 20 numbers are going to come up. I think I just said that. So let me blow this back up. And I'll show you how I use this game as well. Okay. So over here, you can see that the numbers that just came up, I put right here. Okay. So this 3 means that it was a 3-group combination. So out of these 7 groups, 3 of them hit last drawing. Okay. The 27 was in the 20 group. 49 was in the 40 group. And of course, these 350 numbers were in the 50 group. Okay. For 3 groups total. So sometimes I just try to guess how many groups are going to be hit this drawing. Okay. So the majority that comes up is either 3 or 4. Okay. So I'm usually happy with that. If at the end result I have 4 numbers, 4 different groups here, then I'm kind of happy with it because that comes up the most. Okay. So I'm off to the next strategy. Actually, I'm sorry. What I'm going to do is go to the last drawing, and I said that no numbers of 1 through 9 is what I picked. They didn't come up. So if you picked the same thing for the last drawing, your game card would have looked like this, okay? And you can see that the winning numbers are still here, okay? And I eliminated some numbers to give myself better odds, okay? So for this drawing, I said no 20 numbers I don't believe are going to come up, so I'm going to eliminate the 20 numbers that are left on the game card here. And hopefully no 20 numbers come up, okay? So you make your pick on what you think is going to not come up for the individual numbers, okay? And we're going to move on. So the next strategy is strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so again, if you've never seen my videos before, what you're looking at is what I call my group 1 numbers. So basically what I did is I took all the numbers, divided it into 4 different groups, and put colors to these groups. So when the 5 white winning Powerballs come up, I record where they land within these groups down here in the stats. Okay, so again, there was 1 in the red area, and there was 4 hits in the orange area. So there was no numbers in the blue area, and there was no numbers in the green area. Okay? So the strategy behind this is to correctly guess where these zeros are going to pop up. If I could have correctly guessed that none of these blue numbers are going to come up in the last drawing, I could have gave myself a much better chance at picking the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so I'm going to put some color to this. Okay, so the 1 and the 4 is red for a hit. And the blue and the green is going to be blue for miss. Okay, I also like to call this hot and cold as well. Okay, you'll hear me refer to that. So here I'm going to change this. It says 88. I'm going to change it to 89. And here it says 85. I'm going to change it to 86. So that means there's 86 zeros in this green column here. Okay, so as I go down, you can see it goes down forever. Okay, so that's how I update this. So I'm going to do one more just to really pound it in here. Okay, so again, the 27 was blue. The 49 and 50 were red, and the 51 and 52 were blue. So there was 2 red numbers, 3 blue numbers, no orange, no green. Okay, so I'm just going to make this orange and green blue here. Change this to 81, this to 79. Okay, so how I use this is, I think my game, it's all up to a personal vision on what you think is an advantage. Okay, so I think that my game creates advantages. All right, so again, it's all a personal aspect though of what you think the advantage is. All right, so here you can see that 2 zeros doubled up, and down here there was 3 zeros that doubled up. Okay, so here I have a bunch of single zeros. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 single zeros in a row. Okay, so maybe right here, maybe it will double up and have another zero right here. Okay, and if that happens, of course, none of these orange numbers will be coming up. Okay, so again, it's all a personal view. All right, so last drawing. Okay, so you can see that 3 is all, option card number 3 is all set up here. Okay, so I have 15 of these option cards. All right, so one thing I want to show you is what's called a row right here. You can see that all 4 colors had a hit to it. Okay, and when that happens, I call that a row. All right, so if there hasn't been a row in like 10, 12 drawings, then I think it's due for one. All right, so what that means is if I think that there's going to be a row right here, okay, then when it comes to picking the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers, I want it to represent each of the 4 colors on this option card. All right, so one last thing here before we get going is I just want you to keep track of the blue numbers here. Okay, the blue. All right, so I want you to count how many zeros were in the blue area. Okay, so there's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, here's 5. Okay, so the reason why I wanted you to do that is because in the last drawing, there was 5 zeros among those 15 option cards. Okay, so how this works is I call this the overview of group 1. All right, so if there's 4 or less zeros for all 15 option cards, I color this red for hot. If there's 5 or more zeros among the 15 option cards, I color it blue for cold. Okay, and it gives me a little separation here. Okay, so you can see with this blue is really a bunch of red, bunch of red, bunch of red. Eventually, it's going to turn blue, right? So I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen. So if I think that there's going to be at least 5 zeros to one of these colors, then the strategy is to go back and guess where those zeros are going to be within those 15 option cards. Okay, so for this one, I think that there's going to be a bunch of option cards with a 0 to it. Last drawing, there was 17 zeros among those, all the options. Okay, so there's 4 options per option card, and there's 15 option cards, so that means there's 60 things to choose from. All right, and again, last drawing, out of the 60 options, there was 17 options that came up as 0. Okay, before that was 10, and then it was 14, 18, and so on. Okay, so last drawing, I'm going to pick 2 of them. But last drawing, if you picked green number 7 that have a 0 to it, you could have eliminated all these numbers and gave yourself a much better chance at picking the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go to the game card, okay, for the last drawing, and I'm going to eliminate these green numbers, okay? So here's the last drawing again. Again, it was the 66 to 4 corners here, and then it was here, and I'm going to eliminate this 19 because this 19 shares the square with the 67, and I'll go over that in a second. This 34, this 69, this 53 shares the square with the 69, so I'm going to get rid of that as well. Okay, so this is what the option card what it looked like last drawing. If you correctly picked that, you can see that the winning numbers are still here. All right. So for me, for this drawing, I'm going to go with the same thing. I think that this is going to double up. I think there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay. So as I go down, you can see that there's a bunch of single zeros. And now I think it's going to double up. So I'm going to get rid of all these green numbers off of this drawing. Okay, so here's this drawing, and I'm going to get rid of this 5. Because the 66 was green, I got rid of it already, but now I'm going to get rid of the 8 as well. Okay, and then the 34, 35. I'm going to get rid of this 53 as well. Okay, so hopefully the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers are still on the game card here, okay? Just like it was last drawing. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 1, and I'm going to make another pick. And I'm going to go with option card 13, no green numbers, okay? So if you could have correctly picked that none of these green numbers were going to come up in the last drawing, you could have eliminated all these numbers, okay? So I'm going to start with the 6 and 8, 13, 15, and work my way down in the last drawing. So 6, 8, 13, 15, 6, 8, 13, 15, 6, 8, 13, 6, 8, 13, 15. Okay? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to guess that this is going to double up as well and have a 0 here. Okay? As you can see, all the single zeros. All right, so hopefully that's going to happen again with this option card. Okay, so again, it was the 6, 8, 13, 15, 6, 8, 13, 15, 6. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate those numbers as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the number 1 here. And as quickly as possible, I'm going to go down, okay, to about here, and then work my way up slowly. And I'm doing this so you can make a decision on where you think the 0 is going to be, okay? So pause the video if you need to, all right? So I'm going to head down again. I got 15 of these to do, so I'm going to try to hurry it up. And allow you enough time to either pause the video so you could see what numbers you need to eliminate. Okay, so moving on, here we are to number 4. Number 5. Okay, and this is the good thing about getting my game. You know, if this is piquing your interest at all, you know, you could take your time and go down as far as you need to and look for things. You know, you just want to look for different patterns, you know. So, but you could do it at, you know, the leisure of your own time. All right. So, I'm going to do number 7 here. All right, off to number 8. We're halfway through. Okay, so off to number 9. Hopefully this is helping you. You know, there's really no rhyme or reason why a 0 will come up. Again, it's all random, right? We know that. We're looking for that advantage. I'm not sure if you're going to see one or not. All right. So just hopefully you'll make a lucky guess and none of those numbers will come up. Okay, so we're getting there. We're up to 11. Okay, here's 12. And you're probably saying to myself, okay, so what am I looking for? You know, that's only you can answer that. Okay. Here we go with 13. You know, you see a bunch of single zeros here with this orange area, so maybe the orange numbers won't be coming up. Okay, so here's 14. You can see that there's 3 rows here. Okay, so maybe it's the 15 that's going to have a 0 to it. Who knows, right? It's all a lucky guess. Hopefully you'll get it right. And last one is 15. Okay, and then here's the overview. Now, I think there's going to be lots of green coming up, and the reason why is because you can see that there's 3 single zeros, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 single blue marks here. You know, I think it's going to double up. I think there's going to be lots of green areas that are going to have a 0 to it. Okay, so off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 5, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so right about now, the people that I talk to, they're ready to take a break. So maybe you should take a break and come back to this, okay? Because it does kind of get overwhelming. All right. So here, what this is this is my group 2 numbers. Okay, so much like group 1, where I divided things into 4 different groups, here I divided things into 8 different groups. Okay, so just another way of looking at things. All right. So I'm going to start with the winning numbers were 27, 49, 50, 51, 52. So there was 1 in the red area, 1 in the blue, 2 in the orange, and 1 in the green. Okay, so I'm going to put this down in the stats here. There's 1 hit in the red area, 1 hit in the blue, 2 in the orange, 1 in the green. That means there was no winning numbers in the purple area, no winning numbers in the brown area, no winning numbers in the gray area, and no winning numbers in the yellow area. Okay, so 4 color groups got hit. Okay, and what I do is I look for the majority, and the majority of the numbers landed over here to the left. I'm sorry, I need to make this the correct color here. Okay, so you can see that this is the left side. Okay, all the numbers came over here, so the majority out of the 5 numbers were over to the left side, and I colored that red. Okay, so now you can take a look at things over here and say, wow, there's been a lot of green, so I think more red is going to come up, which means the majority of the numbers will be over here to the left side, and at least 2 of these color groups over here will have a 0 to it. Okay, so again, it's all geared up for you to make a decision on where you think that 0 is going to be. Okay, so you can see that there's 8 of these color groups, and there's only 5 winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so I know that 3 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to correctly guess where these zeros are going to pop up, and then eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. So if you don't think any yellow numbers are going to come up on this next drawing, then get rid of all these and hopefully they won't come up. Okay? So how I use this as well, when I put a number in here, okay? Again, I'm always looking for the majority. So you can see that I made this 5 drawings, okay? And then it goes down to here and here and here, okay? So again, I'm always looking for the majority. And since there was 3 zeros here, I colored the background blue for cold. Since you can see that there was 3 hits on the next 5, I colored the background red for hot. And because the lottery is so random, I know that nothing can stay cold forever, and I know that nothing can stay hot forever, okay? So when I see that something's been like really hot here in the red, okay, well, I know eventually it's going to cool down. I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen, okay? So for this last drawing, you can see that there was no purple numbers that came up, okay? So what I'm going to do, if you could have correctly guessed that none of these purple numbers were going to come up in the last drawing, you could have gotten rid of them, gave yourself a better chance at winning. Okay, so I'm going to go to the game card. I'm going to go to the last drawing, and I'm going to do that purple. Actually, I already have this all written out, okay? And I said that no yellow numbers. Okay, so I'm going to stick to my script and put no yellow numbers. Okay, so again, if you could have correctly guessed all these things, you can see that the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers are still in play in this last drawing. Okay, so now what I want to do is go with this drawing. All right, so what do you think? Where do you think that 0 is going to be? Okay, so for me, I think it's going to be in this yellow area as well. Okay, so for this option card, for this game card, I'm going to eliminate the yellow numbers. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here for a second. All right, I'm going to blow it up. Okay, and I want you at home to guess where that 0 is going to be. Now remember, there's going to be at least 3 of them, but I have 15 of these option cards here, so what I want you to do is just pick one, okay? Move on to the next option card. So for me, I'm picking the yellow, okay? And I'm going to get rid of all these yellow numbers off of the game card for this drawing. Okay, so the 16 and the 64 are out of here, okay? So now I'm moving on to the next one, okay? And that's option card number 2. So you can see that 27 is in green and all 4 of these numbers are in gray, okay? So as I head down, there is no winning numbers in the red area. There's no winning numbers in the blue area. There's no winning numbers in the orange area. There is 1 winning number, that 27. There's no winning numbers in that purple area. None in the brown, and all 4 of them in the gray. So there is no winning numbers in that yellow. And that turns out to be two total groups got hit. The majority of the numbers are over here to the right side, so I'm going to make this green, okay? So for the last drawing, if you would have correctly guessed that none of these blue numbers are going to come up, you could have eliminated all these blue numbers off of the game card, which I'm going to do right now, okay? So why I do this is to show you that my game does work, okay? I'm going to get rid of these blue numbers off of the last drawing. So if you could correctly guess what numbers won't be coming up, it will, the 5 winning numbers will reveal itself, okay? So now I'm going to do this drawing. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the stats. I'm going to look at things here. Okay, a red hasn't come up very much, so I'm thinking that there's going to be more red hits. So I'm thinking that there might be more hits over here to the red than the left side than the right side. Okay, but still, I'm going to go with this red area right here. I think the 0 is going to be right here. Okay. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to leave this here for a second for you to guess your pick. Okay. And now if you need to pause the video to eliminate things. Okay. So I'm going to eliminate this red area. Actually, I got to go back to 90%. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate this red area, which is all right here. Okay, so let me go back so you can see where the red is. Okay, so hopefully you made your picks. Okay, and now you're going to X out those numbers. All right, so again, I have 15 of these option cards, so I'm off to option card number 3. And this one, I already updated it, so we're all set to go. Okay. So what I'm going to do for the last drawing, if you could have picked that no red numbers were going to come up, you could have eliminated all those numbers. Okay. So let's see what that is. It's the 4 and the 37. So again, this is last drawing. Okay, so if you could have eliminated all these numbers, you can see that the 5 winning Powerball numbers are still on the board. Okay, so for this drawing, let me go back down through here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that no brown numbers are going to come up. So here's the brown area right here. So you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red areas have been there. So now I'm hoping that these last 2 will be zeros, making it blue. Okay, we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to go with brown, and you make a decision on where you think the 0 is going to be. Okay. Okay, so again, pause the video if you need to, but I'm going to eliminate this brown area and this brown area here. Okay, so off to the next one. Option card number 4. Okay, again, it's already done. It's already updated. You can see that there was 2 hits total. There was 4 in the orange and 1 in the yellow. Okay, so this is the reason why I like to eliminate numbers. I never know where there's going to be 4 of them. Okay, but I do know that there's going to be at least 3 of these zeros among this option card. Okay, so if you could have correctly guessed that no red numbers were going to come up in the last drawing, we could have got rid of those numbers. Okay, and it would have been the 5 and the 33. 5 and the 33, so the only one left is the 36. But I still didn't eliminate any of the correct Powerball numbers. Okay, so for me, my pick is going to be no green numbers. Okay, So I'm going to take a break from this for 1 second, okay? And I'm going to eliminate these green numbers first, the 29 and 57. Get rid of the 30 and the 60. Hopefully those numbers won't be coming up. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I want to go back to this option card number 1. Okay, and you can see that I put a 1, a 1, a 2, and a 1. Okay, so I have a group 2 overview. All right, and I'm going to write those in. So again, there was 1 in the red, 1 in the blue, 2 in the orange, 1 in the green. Okay, so this is all 15 option cards here. So this is option card number 1 with the red area, option card with the blue area. There's 2 in the orange and 1 in the green. Okay, and for the purple, there was a 0. Brown was a 0. Gray, there was a 0. Means no winning Powerballs numbers came up. Okay, so I'm going to go back to group 2 here, and I'm going to do option card number 2. You can see in the red was 0, blue was 0, orange was 0. There's 1 in the green and 4 in the gray, and the rest were zeros. Okay, so I'm going to go back to that. Okay, so there was 4 in the gray, 0 in the yellow, 0 in the brown, 0 in the purple. There's 1 in the green, 0 in the orange, 0 in the blue, and 0 in the red. Okay, so why I do this is now I could add up all the hits among those 15 option cards. Okay, so there was hit in option card number 1, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 12. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was 5 hits, 10 misses on those 15 option cards. Okay, so the reason why I have 15 option cards is because I want to see the majority of it. Okay, so if there's 10 or more misses, I color the background blue for cold. Okay, here you can see that there was 9 hits, 6 misses, so I colored the background red for hot. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to this group 1, and I have the overview of group 2 right here. Okay. Okay, so you can see that 353, all right, 5 hits, 10 misses, all right, for this red area, all right, and then over here in the purple, there was 10 hits, 5 misses. So over here, I add all these numbers together, okay, all the hits, okay, and it turned out to be 59 hits and 61 misses, okay, so I colored the background red for cold because more misses came up than hits, okay, but if you add this together, 59 and 61 equals 120, so there's actually 120 options here to choose from, okay, so if you could get 20 of the options where a 0 is going to be, you'll probably hit the jackpot, okay? It's very hard to do. The odds are crazy, all right? So, but what this does for me is I try to decide whether there's going to be lots of hits within these 15 option cards or lots of misses within these option cards, okay? So for me, I think there's going to be lots of green misses here, okay? And also lots of brown misses, okay? So it's up to you to look at this, and you may look at this and say, no, I think this is going to keep on a blue streak or whatever, so I think there's going to be lots of orange misses, all right? So we were on option card number 4. So even though that there's a big streak of blue here, okay, because I think there's going to be lots of misses in that green area, I'm still going to go with, I think there's going to be a 0 here, okay? That's why I wanted to explain that to you. Okay, so for this drawing, I'm going to eliminate the green numbers, which I already did, okay? Now what I want to do is make sure that you have your opportunity to pick where the 0 is going to be, okay? So pause this if you need to, okay? Decide where that 0 is going to be, and then eliminate these numbers off of the game card, okay? So again, pause the video if you need to, and I'm moving on to number 5. Okay, so here was a red, 2 orange, and 2 gray. Okay, so as I go down, you can see a red, 2 orange, 2 gray. All right, so as I look over here, it looks like there's been lots of red. Okay, and then there was 5 drawings in a row where the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side. So maybe I'm thinking that it could be over here. All right. That there's going to be lots of hits and lots of misses over here to the left side. Okay, so I think that one of the zeros is going to be right here in the green area again. Okay, so I want you to make a decision on where you think a 0 is going to be. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of all these green numbers off of the game card. Okay, so it's just the 39 and 62. Okay, so for the last drawing, kind of skipped over that. Green number didn't come up as well. So I'm going to get rid of these green numbers on the last drawing as well. Okay, so the last drawing is over here, the 39 and the 62. And get rid of. Okay, so again, those 5-way winning Powerball numbers are still on the game card over here, and hopefully they're still on the game card over here as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go on to the next one. Again, there's 15 of these option cards. I know this takes a little long, but I want you to have the opportunity to pick where you think those zeros are gonna be. Okay, so number 6. As I head down here, last drawing, if you picked 0 on this purple area, okay, you could have been correct here. So let's see what that looks like. And it's the 7, 16, 23, 32 all the way down. Again, this is for the last drawing. So 7, 16, 23, and that's it. Okay, so for this drawing, I am going to pick I don't believe that any orange numbers are going to come up. So I think the 0 is going to be right here. Okay, so you make a decision on where you think the 0 is going to be. Okay, pause the video if you need to. Okay, and again, I went with no orange, which is the 5, 14, 21, 30 all the way down. So I'm going to get rid of the 14 and the 46. Hopefully those numbers won't come up. Okay, so next, again, pause the video if you need to X out all those numbers. All right. So next, the last drawing was red, green, purple, green, purple. So 1 red, 2 green, 2 purple. 1 red, 2 green, 2 purple. Okay. So you can see that there's been a lot of green over here. So I'm thinking that there's going to be lots of hits over here to this left side, right? But I'm still going to go with I don't think any green numbers are going to come up here, okay? So in the last drawing, if you could have correctly guessed that no yellow numbers were going to come up, you could have got rid of those, okay? So it's a 17, 26, 67 all the way across. And this is for last drawing. Okay, so eliminating those numbers, you can still see the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers are still here. Okay, and what I said is number 7, 49, 68, 51, all the way across for this drawing. Okay, so obviously I think the numbers are going to be over here to the left side, which I thought were. Okay, I didn't think all 5 of them would be, but whatever. The majority is to the left side, which I like. Okay, I also said the majority would be to the blue, so I'm thinking that at least 3 of these numbers will be up here. Okay, and I think that at least 3 of them will be odd numbers. All right, so back to group 2, going on to number 8. Go back to number 7 and just pause this. Make sure you have enough time to X out your numbers. Okay, we're halfway through. Number 8, as we head down. For the last drawing, if you could have said that no red numbers were going to come up, let's get rid of that. It was the 5, 16, 21, 31. And you can see that there's no numbers here to eliminate over here in the last drawing. Okay, so for this drawing, I'm going to say that no blue numbers are going to come up. Okay, so make your decision on where you think the 0 is going to be. Okay, pause the video if you need to. And again, I said no blue numbers, so I don't think the 6, 15, 22, or 32 will be coming up. And you can see that all these numbers are gone anyways, okay? So off to the next one. Number 9. Okay, so last drawing, if you would have picked that no red numbers were going to come up, you could have gotten rid of those numbers. And it's the 1, 28, 15, 22. I'll get rid of those. Okay, so for me, okay, so you can see it was the 47, 54 in red. Okay, so for me, I'm going to go with green. Again, I think there's going to be lots of green. So I think the 0 is going to be right here. Let's see what those numbers are. It's the 465 on this side and the 1324 on this side. Okay, so the only one left is these 2 right here. Okay, so I just got... Sorry, I keep on doing that. I did that last drawing too. 465 right here, and that's it. Okay, so that was for this drawing. Sometimes I get confused, but I caught myself here. Okay, so again, it was for this drawing. I don't think any green numbers are going to come up. Okay, so I'll leave this here for a second. Pause the video if you need to X out your numbers. And now I'm off to number 10. We're almost there. We're in the home stretch. Okay, last drawing. If you could have said that no brown numbers were going to come up, you could have gotten rid of these brown numbers. 11, 26, and all 4 of them here. So I'll get rid of those 2. Okay, so for this drawing, I am going to get rid of the green numbers again. I think that this is going to stay on the green streak. I think the 0 is going to be right here. Okay, make your decision on where you think the 0 is going to be. Okay, so it's the 4, 9 all the way around. That same pattern of 4, 9. And this is for me, for this drawing. Okay, so I'm getting down there. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. I got to get rid of one of them. Over here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers still left. Okay, so we're off to option card number 11. Okay, so last drawing, if you could have correctly guessed that no red numbers were going to come up, could have got rid of those red numbers. It's a 6. There's no numbers over here to the left side anymore, or right side anymore. So the 17 and 35. And there's nothing here. So I'll get rid of those. Okay, and for this drawing, I am going to go with the yellow. I think that there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay, hopefully anyways. And I'm going to get rid of the yellow numbers, which is the 4 and the 50 for this drawing. And there it is. Okay, so now I'm down to 5 numbers over here. So I'm going to go with the 17, 33, 43, 44, and 52. Okay, but I'm still working over here on the last drawing. So let's go to option card number 12. If you could have correctly guessed that no orange numbers were going to come up, you could have gotten rid of those. And the orange goes from the 1 to the 65. And there's nothing there. So next is 13. See option card 13. And if you correctly guessed that no gray numbers were going to come up, you could have gotten rid of those, which is the 33 and the 5. I'll get rid of that 42. Okay, so now we're just down to 2 numbers left that I have to get rid of. We're going to do that with this one right here. If you said no gray numbers in the last drawing, you could have got rid of all these gray numbers, which includes the 41 and the 57. Okay, so if you made all the correct picks, you could have eliminated all the numbers and left these numbers still on the board. Okay, so you see how this works. All right, so let me talk about the odds for a second. All right, so I want you to know that to get the grand prize, okay, which is over 300 million right now, the odds are 1 in 292 million, okay, in some change. Okay, so my goal is to get this $1 million one. All right, just the 5 white balls. All right, I always play the power play, so hopefully I'll make it 2 million. All right, but the odds in that is 1 in 11,688,000. Okay, so the odds are pretty steep, and of course that's why it pays so well. Okay, another nice one. I almost hit this one time. I took I wrote down 61, and then I said, no, not the 61. I'll take the 46. And if I took the 61, I would have gotten 250,000. So that really sucked. So here to get this one, it's 1 in 900,000. Okay, so almost a million odds. All right, and they get $100 one, which is, hey, I'll take it. You know, if you put any money in and you get more than you put in, then that's a win in my book. And that's 1 in 14,000. Okay, so just to give you the odds of things. So if somebody says, hey, I got a sure thing to win the lottery. Well, you know, well, the sure thing to win the Powerball. Well, again, the odds are just astronomical. Okay, so in closing, I want to thank you for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, then please go to my Patreon page. That's at www.patreon.com/decoding the Powerball. And as always, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.